Hey everybody, it's Laurie Maxon from Your Essential Insights again. Here's another thought for you. I think so many times right now, especially, we're hearing all about employee engagement issues and how employees are not engaged with the activities of the company. They're not aligned with the values or the mission of the company. And we keep hearing the same problems, but nobody's really creating solutions. I think most of what they're doing is the same things that's already being done and it's not changing. Well, I wanted you to think about something today. Um, if you've listened to any of my videos, you know that I think outside the box. I really like to consider different options. I like to try to paint pictures for you to help you understand things better or to give you another perspective. So bear with me and I want you to think along these lines. When we talk about engaged, what does it really mean? You know, it's a commitment. It's showing a great interest in someone, especially if we're talking about getting engaged. If we look at relationships and we consider a couple, okay, that doesn't happen overnight. You don't just meet someone and propose and now you're engaged. It's not how it works. What happens is, and I'm sure that most of you can relate, is you work on that relationship. You get to know that individual. You are building a confidence level that that person is trustworthy or not, that you can respect them or not. You're seeing how you align with them, and you're focusing on, do you have the same goals? Are you on the same plane? Are your values aligned with one another? So that takes time. It takes time for you to consider that. And it also requires you to communicate. You have to communicate with one another to see if we're a match. Somebody's just not going to jump onto our bandwagon and say, oh, yeah, I believe everything you say. We want to make sure that what you're saying, you also have actions to support that. So when we're thinking about engaged and getting engaged, let's really just dive into this relationship thing a minute, because I think I'll get back to you and I'll show you how that ties in into a company. So we're building that communication. That requires sometimes, one party has to compromise. And hopefully we can develop a win-win. We certainly in a relationship aren't going to try to beat somebody out all the time, because what happens is we're separating that relationship instead of bringing it together. Now, we also know that in a relationship, people aren't always going to agree with us. We're not always going to agree with them. That's why compromise comes in. Is it big? Is the whatever's going on a big enough deal to break the trust, to break the respect? If not, how can we compromise? How can we communicate with one another to get a better understanding so that we can once again be aligned? See, that's all part of building a foundation, a secure foundation, where we have the trust, we have the respect, and we are in a committed relationship. That's where it's going to start from. And as we continue to put that person first, and we're taking action to make sure that they know that we're committed, we're interested, we trust them, and we respect them, guess what? They become more engaged. They're more engaged in that relationship and they want to make it thrive, right? Okay. So when we are consider ourselves engaged, we don't stop working on that relationship. Once we get to that point, we continue to work on it to make it even better. We want to build not that just that relationship that we have, but we want to make it stronger. And different circumstances are going to come up. We're going to face new issues. But the bottom line is we have that strong foundation. So now we can truly focus on building it even stronger, building it up. Well, in life, if we aren't really honest, we don't really treat people like we want to be treated. We hear it all the time. Treat someone like you want to be treated and everything will work out fine. But I don't even know that that thought ever really crosses our mind. I don't know that we ever really consider how we want to be treated, because a lot of us, depending on the kind of relationships we're in, will stand back, will be quiet. We won't really have that committed relationship. We're not fully committed. We're not fully engaged. And so we can't really say that. But even in a workplace, if I ask leaders, which I do, to treat people like you want to be treated, I want you to really think about that for a minute. As a leader, are you treating your employees the way you want to be treated? Think about it. Think oftentimes we aren't. Oftentimes, if we're not good leaders, we are putting ourselves above that person. And we're not really focusing on their needs, we're focusing on ours. So let's go back to that relationship. Remember, to build a foundation, we have to develop this trust and respect. And the only way to get an engaged employee is that they would be committed because of those things, because we have shown them, yes, I respect and I value you, I trust you, and I'm committed to building this relationship. We won't ever get people aligned with us without treating them with respect, without treating someone. They'll read right through it. Okay? It's the same in the companies. I want you to picture this. And you yourself, as a company owner, CEO, president, whatever your position is, I want you to think about this. Just because we call them employees does not mean that they no longer have these emotional needs. You need them, they need them. Just because we label them employees does not mean they no longer have these emotional needs. Think about this, because it's critical for you to be able to build a population that is engaged with the company. When somebody crosses over from their home into the workplace, they are still a person first. We give them a label of employee because they work for the company. They are a person first. People have emotional needs. Those emotional needs are trust, respect, value. They want to contribute. They want to know they're appreciated. If you watched my other video on value, it'll help you kind of see what I'm talking about here. But remember, people don't lose who they are as soon as they step over the doorway into the office. If we can get to a place that we put the employee first again, and we understand, we fully grasp that they are a person first, a job description later, and we build that relationship with them, and we honor them, and they honor us back through trust, respect. You have to have that, or you'll never have your employees engaged at work. Employees who are not engaged and committed to the company will cost you money, because they're not going to deliver that to your customers, your clients, or even to their job. You will get the bare minimum out of them. If you want to thrive as a company, you have got to allow these people to be people. You have to build that relationship, because when you do, they will deliver to you 120%. If you start focusing on that employee first, they will deliver 120%. You won't ever need to worry about having an engaged employee again, because they will be committed to you. I hope that served you well. If you have questions, if you want to follow up with me, leave a comment below. I want to help serve you even more. So if you're struggling in this area, send me an email. You can use my contact page. Just let me know that you watched this video and you have questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. My goal is to provide you with valuable information. You know, employee engagement issues are on the rise, and I can guarantee they're not going to stop anytime soon. And they're only going to stop when we start putting people first. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.